Welcome to the comparative video here of the three smartphones, cheap smartphones available on the three networks, 2degrees, Vodafone and Telecom. So let's take a look at them and see the differences between them. So this is the Idios from 2degrees. It's a nice looking device. They're all 2.8 touch screens. The Vodafone one is a resistive, the other two are both capacitive screens, and that makes a hell of a difference, let me tell you. So this is quite nice and stylish. On the back, like the rubbery feel of this particular device. There's also the camera, and then there's also the speaker on the back as well for hands-free. So, you know, it's a nice styled device. Let's take a look at the Vodafone, which is also a Huawei device. This is a U8120. And it's got a resistive touchscreen, so it's certainly not quite as nice. You have to push down quite hard to actually get the device to do anything. In terms of the styling, I can't say I'm a big fan of the styling at all, really. It feels quite cheap, but when you compare it to, you know, it's $100 less than the other two devices, which is, you know, 33%. That's quite significant. So let's also take a look at some of the other things that are available. This is, of course, the Samsung Galaxy 5. Now, you'll know about the Samsung Galaxy S probably, which is the big brother of this little guy. And the Samsung Galaxy S is getting rave reviews everywhere. Well, this is the smaller version, 2.8 touchscreen. It is a capacitive touchscreen. Styling, not too bad. I'm not a big fan of these buttons down the bottom here. They're rocker buttons. There's 4 different buttons down there, and yeah, can't say I'm a big fan of that. Other than that, the styling though is pretty fantastic. Nice glossy back on that, picks up the fingerprints, and a 2-megapixel camera on the back, speaker down the bottom there as well. So all in all, they're pretty similar in terms of the styling. Certainly the Idios and the Samsung, both nice devices. The Vodafone 845, not a great device. That's these two handsets here, of course, made by Huawei. Obviously, the Vodafone device is a resistive touchscreen. As I said, that makes quite a big difference. It's not as easy to type on, and when you've got such a small screen, it really does make a significant difference. Also, some of the other differences in the device, you've got a 520 odd megahertz processor in this one. I think you'll find that this Vodafone 845 is also sitting on around about that sort of 500 megahertz. You can overclock that with different ROMs. But this one here from Samsung is running a 600 megahertz processor in it. And while, you know, it's not a huge difference between the Idios and the Samsung, certainly the scrolling does seem to be a little more fluid on the Samsung device. These ones are both running 2.2, bearing in mind that the Vodafone 845 is never going to go up to 2.2. You're going to be stuck on 2.1 unless somebody comes up with a ROM, third party. This one here, the Samsung, comes stock with 2.1, but there is a 2.2 ROM out for it. In fact, that's running the 2.2 ROM there. The Vodafone 845 also has HSDPA, but only to 3.6. The other two run 7.2. So if you're after some high-speed internet to do some tethering, then those would be the devices to go for. The other thing too is that obviously with 2.2, you get that Wi-Fi tethering built into the software. You don't have to download any third-party software to be able to do that. Really, between the devices, there's not a lot. This is very much a vanilla sort of Android device, the Huawei. They've added a couple of extra applications, such as an Office application, and also Twitter and Facebook are also on there as standard when you bring it out of the box. Everything else, though, you just install from scratch. When you buy the Samsung device, it is customized. You'll notice that if you're used to Android, then usually you sort of scroll down for the menu here, but this one you scroll across. Doesn't have quite the same things in it. They all come with, of course, the FM radios built into them as well. That's really handy. Good MP3 players. Found the Vodafone just a little bit touchy in terms of its sound quality. I don't think it's quite as good as the other two devices. One of the other things that you'll find quite useful if you buy the Samsung or Telecom is that you're going to get a 2 gig SD card included with that as well. So, you know, that makes quite a big difference if you're sort of starting out and you want to have a bit of a play with it. There's going to be one in the box, whereas the Huawei and the Vodafone both don't come with any of those third-party accessories in the box as well. Another great feature with the Samsung is that you'll get a wall charger, and you also get a USB cable as well. When you buy these other two devices, you get a charger which is simply just a USB based charger, so you have to use the cable for that. So essentially you get an extra cable with the Samsung, so that can be quite handy as well. All of these, of course, are going to be customizable, and you can change ROMs when ROMs are available. And being on Android, of course, you can download applications. 2.8 screen, it's going to be a bit of a problem for you with typing probably. I found that the 2.8 inch screen is just a little bit on the small side if you're wanting to do you know, some typing, text messaging. Swipe comes standard on the Samsung device, which is quite handy if you've used that before. And you know, also the other thing that you're going to get with the Huawei is that you're going to get N Wi-Fi. Now, why would that make a difference to you? It probably won't. Certainly not with a cell phone. You're not going to be transferring that much data, but you know, good to have good specifications on your device. So all in all, the Vodafone 845, good entry-level device, and if you're on a budget and you want to start with an Android device, it's a good place to start. $199 is its price point. The other two devices sitting there at $299, and obviously the network compatibility is going to be a big thing. The Samsung is going to work on Telecom, and the Huawei device is going to work on 2 degrees, and you can also bring that across to Vodafone as well. So definitely not a lot between the Samsung and the IDEOS. I think the Samsung is slightly quicker. It does have only a 2 megapixel camera on the Samsung and a 3.1 megapixel camera on the Huawei device. So all in all, your choice, but 3 great little options there for the latest Android devices, and certainly good to see the budget devices coming out.